What's up everybody, Mr. Play.the Gaming here, back with another video for y'all today. And today we're going to be talking about Nintendo supposedly had a Switch Pro in the works, but ended up canceling the project. And the people that found this out was Digital Foundry supposedly. Now the article I'm going to be reading it from Forbes. And yeah, before we get into the article, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and ring the notification bell. If you don't do any of the things, you are a beta. Report: Nintendo canceled the Switch Pro in favor of a Switch 2. A weird thing happened the past year when Nintendo announced that a new Switch hardware will be coming to market. The main draw was a new OLED screen, and further examination it was clear that there were no additional power upgrades in the unit, despite previous rumors that there were some coming. Well, we may have a clear picture of what happened now and what's going to be happening in the future. According to Digital Foundry, Nintendo will plan on doing a mid-gen Switch upgrade that everyone was calling the Switch Pro. However, these plans were ultimately scrapped and work instead shifted toward the next-gen Switch successor instead, which most would call the Switch 2. Digital Foundry goes on to say that no, we should not expect the next Switch to come in 2023. And Nintendo is somewhat concerned about the launch of a follow-up system, given what happened between the massively successful Wii and the disastrous Wii U. They don't want to replicate that situation. Anyway, I'm gonna make this clear right now. The only reason the Wii U failed, like they try and compare, Nintendo is worried about this being a repeat if they launch a Switch 2 or a successor to the Switch. No, I believe it would not happen at the same as the Wii U, because the Wii U had two things against it. For one thing, Nintendo marketed the Wii U so poorly that people thought the Wii U was just a controller add-on that you just put on a regular Wii. Nobody at the time realized that the Wii U was a next-gen console. And secondly, the Wii U was weak. And I mean, when I say the Wii U was weak, the Wii U was weak. I mean, you had like third-party developers trashing the Wii U because how weak it is. Like, the Wii U for the most part could have been a good console if Nintendo put some more horsepower into it. Like, that was one of the Wii U's downfall, because with the Wii U, you went like months without a third-party game. Like, there've been months where the Wii U didn't have no new releases, and the only game was on Wii U was first-party titles. That was it. So, due to poor marketing and lack of power, that's how the Wii U failed. So you really can't compare the Switch 2 to the Wii U, if there is a Switch 2. They're working on it. If they just market it better and just make it a whole lot more powerful, the Switch 2 would sell, no doubt. Like, think about it, a Switch, even though it probably is unrealistic, for example, a Switch that can either do 4K 30 FPS or 1440p 60 or 1080p 60. It depends on what game you're running on at the time. But even 1440p 60 or 1440p 30 or 1080 60, that still be a good thing for the Switch to have. Not only do you get a powerful console on the go, you also can put it at home too. So I think if Nintendo does it right, the Switch 2 can be a more powerful system, even though they probably would have to ditch the old Switch for this thing to work. Because another thing that probably won't work either, if Nintendo say, hey, all you developers, you gotta support the new Switch in the old Switch, which never goes well when a company making a new console. You never want to do that if you're making a new console. Don't hold your new console back just because of old hardware. That's how I feel about it. It's so easy to see how we arrived here. The Nintendo Switch continued to sell massively, well, despite lagging behind competitors in power, where in some cases it pretty much twofold generation behind now. But the system and software are good, it simply doesn't matter. So why waste time and resources in potential upgrade when everyone is perfectly content buying the original? Well, with that question, I like it gonna come a point where Nintendo will gonna have to upgrade, because let's be honest with ourselves, some games with the Switch do not run good. I'm sorry, there's some games on Switch that just run abysmally. Like, I think it's time for a new Switch upgrade. I think it been past time. I think Nintendo should go ahead and just upgrade the Switch already. They ain't saying don't rush a console out and just have it filled with bugs and all that other stuff. But I'm saying it's about time, because it's gonna come to a point where third parties ain't gonna be able to develop for it anymore. So I think it's just time for a new Switch upgrade. Like, that's my opinion. Like, I think it's just been past time for a new Switch. Cause some games just don't run good on the Switch like they run on other consoles. So yeah, I think it's just time for a new Switch, and that's why I think they should go ahead and just plan on making a new Switch and probably the old one behind, because let's face it, the Switch is aging. It's getting up there. And I think it's time, to order for Nintendo to be competitively viable, they need to have a more powerful hardware than they currently got right now. I ain't saying the Switch can't run certain games. I'm just saying that it gonna come a point where they gonna have to upgrade. So why not do it now so they won't be paying for it later? As for Switch 2 Nintendo potential concerns about it, I think if they can avoid over Nintendo doing it, it should be fine. What I mean by that, the Wii U was a failure because it really wasn't a successor to the Wii, leaning hard on brand new gamepad gimmick that never panned out nearly as well as the Wii's motion controls. Honestly, the motion control wasn't all that great either. Honestly, I never saw the appeal of the Wii's motion control. It was kind of like a gimmick as well, because the only reason the Wii succeeded was because it mostly focused on families. Now gaming really don't focus on family. It more focused on online competitive games, more likely, or any game that doesn't involve you moving your arm and swing your arm around. Like, most games now don't really have that family aspect to it. The thing with the Wii and what the Wii were marketed towards was a family audience. People like to play with their family, but now in gaming, people don't like to play with their family. They either play online or they play by themselves. Like, what game console focus on family play? None, because most of the time nobody play with their family. Either playing by themselves with their friends, but it's rare you see a family come together and play video games. That's why the Wii succeeded, because it was a family-focused console. But this time around, it seemed pretty clear what Nintendo fans want from a next-gen Switch. They literally just want a next-gen Switch. A Switch that had more power, even if it won't come close to competing with the likes of PS5 or Xbox Series X, which no one expects. But the Switch hardware is badly outdated at this point, which I truly agree with. The Switch is struggling. It's struggling to run some games, even at 30 frames per second. It kind of is struggling a little bit. And while some developers can extract more potential out of it than others, across the board, it's clear that there are some severe limitations because of the console age, and the fact that when it launched was already behind the PS4 and Xbox One on the power front, which is correct. The Nintendo Switch was not that powerful than the base Xbox One or PS4. It was kind of underpowered, but developers did find a way to make the Switch work, because the Switch was selling so good that they did took time of development and develop some games. And some games for the Switch were actually good ports. Some of them were not awful ports at all. Some of them were like fantastic. Now it's a full generation later, and that gap is a chasm, which is correct. The Switch really do need to upgrade badly. So yeah, that's where the article ends, and yeah, which I agree with some point here. The Switch does need an upgrade badly, and I hope the Switch 2 do come in fruition soon, because it's time for a new Switch. It's time for a new Switch. Like, dude, if Nintendo want to avoid another Wii U disaster, they need to release a new Switch. They need a Switch 2, because the Switch now is kind of getting outdated, and I think it's about time for another one. It's just plain and simple. And this thing coming from Digital Foundry, where they strapped the Switch Pro over a Switch 2, which I think that's a very good decision. It's a good business decision if that actually what went down. Because we need a real next-gen Switch. We don't need no more upgrade or minor upgrade. We need a major upgrade Switch. Even if it ain't gonna come close to the PS5 or Xbox Series X, we need something, man. Like, the Switch the base Switch is literally struggling to run some games. Some games are struggling on the poor Switch. I mean, those fans, you hear it from the fans. Some of the fans, you hear the Nintendo Switch fan, it looked like a jet engine about to take off. It sounded like a PS4 fan when trying to run a 1080p game. So yeah, it's time for a new Switch. Nintendo hurry and release a new one, and I hopefully the new Switch be around by like 2024. Either it gonna come out either early 2024 or late 2024. Like, I can't see them announcing a new Switch any later than those 2 points or any earlier. So I hope Nintendo release a new Switch. The Switch 2 will sound cool. I probably actually get it, man. A Switch 2, a more powerful upgraded Switch that actually have genuine upgraded power. Like, come on, who wouldn't want that? And not only that, we also gonna get better games too, like more bigger and better games on the go. Think about it. You can play like all the new latest and greatest AAA games on the go without having to feel like the Switch is like it's like unpowered. Like, some games struggle to run at 30 frames per second sometimes, which even the new Switch do run at games at 30 frames per second. At least it ain't gonna struggle to run those games at 30 frames per second. But I hope the next Switch is a legit, like a major improvement than the first one. I hope the Switch actually receives an upgrade, cause it is about time. The Switch have been out for like 4 to 5 years already. It's time for a new Switch. Anyway, that's my opinion on the Switch 2. I think it's a very interesting article, and I hope they release a new Switch very soon, because I love Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch is like one of my favorite consoles. Like, think about it. A console you can play games. You can play high title AAA games on the go and come back home and play those same games on your TV just by putting it in the dock. I think there's no other concept better than what Nintendo had come up with. The only thing they need to do now is just upgrade it. That's all they have to do. Anyway, this is Mr. Play Doctor. I hope y'all have a fantastic New Year's Eve, because then when that video coming up on New Year's Eve, oh yeah, have a good one. Oh yeah, have a good time. Make sure if you're gonna drink, if you're gonna drink, please let somebody be with you, and just keep other people in mind if you're gonna do that type of activity. Like call Uber, call somebody if you're gonna get fucked up the New Year's Eve, just to be safe. Anyway, this has been Mr. Play Doctor with another video. See y'all next time. Peace.